My name is Sophie Younger and I'm the Director for Social Care. I recruit within adults, children's services and education from a local authority standpoint. I cover the south of England as well as the Midlands. There are a number of key trends that social care is being faced with at the moment in the UK. Budget cuts within local authorities are still continuing and having a huge impact on social services. Teams have been reduced significantly, which is then causing an issue in statutory services being delivered. This is then increasing the volume of interims being required. With the recent changes in OFSTED frameworks, this has caused a lot of unrest within children's social care. The need and the demand for interims has increased significantly, both for pre and post-inspection work, but also about the recovery, looking at the what next and the improvement work that needs to take place post-inspection. The integration of health and social care continues to be an issue for a number of local authorities, purely because where does the talent come from that is going to deliver those services? Are they health professionals or are they social care professionals or are they both? And where is that talent going to come from? The current issues that we face at the moment is the demand for experienced, seasoned interims. Good people are being held onto in authorities that have a strong track record. So, for example, if I'm an interim going into a client and I do a good job, they're going to keep me and get me to do other pieces of work. However, that creates a problem for us because where is that talent coming from? Our clients are looking for interims who can start immediately, and there is a significantly reduced pool of good people. The role of the interim is changing significantly. It's not about coming in and keeping a seat warm. It's more about adding additional capacity and support to an organisation. Most of our interims now are maybe working 2 or 3 days a week to provide support to an already established team and looking at how they can improve the services that they are running. The examples of interims that we're placing at the moment are directors of social care, assistant directors within social services across adults and children's, also heads of service, but also we're looking at project and programme consultants that go in and deliver on particular project pieces of work. So that could be a 20-day piece of work that is commissioned as opposed to come in for 6 months and keep the seat warm. A good interim is somebody who can deliver, somebody who has a track record, somebody who knows their market, somebody who has worked within social care for a significant period of time. They need to demonstrate credibility and be able to come into an authority that can sometimes be quite hostile and actually be removed from that organisation while still making crucial decisions. When we take a brief from a client, we always ask the question, what's the working environment like at the moment? What do we need to be aware of? What do we need to brief the candidate on? So we are completely open with the client as well as we are with the candidate. The candidate needs to know the current issues, the status quo, what they're going to be dealing with, whether it's issues with current staff, people feeling quite disgruntled about what's happening. So it's being able to adapt to that type of situation. And interim is not suited to every person, and so we are quite selective over who we work with in the market. We reference check all of our interims to know that they are suitable to go into that client, and therefore we give the right brief to the individual so they can make the decision too whether it's right for them. That will only be determined when you meet with the client and you can match the personality as well as seeing what the working environment will be like. We are recruiting a number of smaller project pieces of work. An example of that in London recently, a local authority asked us to provide an interim who could support their special educational needs provision. It was actually to review their SEM provision and then to implement what was required to take that service forward. And so we identified a key person in the market who could come in and deliver within a 25-day period to review and make recommendations for implementation. That person is a seasoned interim, has a track record of working with various other authorities as well as Central Government Department for Education. So we felt we had the appropriate match for what the client required. we were dealing with a highly sensitive piece of work. A local authority had come to us because they'd recently been inspected by OFSTED and were about to go into intervention and required an interim director for children's services. We obviously did our discreet search, identified a key person, 2 key people actually, that could go in and potentially deliver on what was required on the improvement notice, and we secured the right individual. Very, very sensitive piece of work, because the current person was obviously the permanent person was due to exit that organisation, and we had to find somebody who was not only credible, had utmost discretion, professionalism, and could come in and deal with a very sensitive issue.